New details about the sinking of a Marine amphibious assault vehicle. Uniform changes for the Air Force. And anybody want to buy a Cold War missile silo? Get your wallets out, we're back at it on the briefing. Welcome back to the briefing. I'm Andrea Scott. If you're looking for more military headlines, please check us out on militarytimes.com and on social on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. In our top story, new details about the fatal sinking of a Marine amphibious assault vehicle. 8 Marines and 1 sailor were lost when the vehicle sank after a recent training run in California. For the latest on this story, we go to Marine Corps Times reporter Philip Athey.
The story on the sunken amphibious assault vehicle continues to develop. On July 30th, an AAV carrying 15 Marines and 1 sailor rapidly sank off the California coast.
We still have 7 Marines and 1 sailor who remain missing, and search and rescue efforts are ongoing to find them.
The vehicle was participating in an operation with the 15th Marine Expeditionary Unit and was returning to its ship when it reported taking on water and began to sink. Not much is known about why the vehicle sank, and all waterborne operations with AAVs have been halted while the Marine Corps investigates exactly what happened. The vehicle was found roughly 1,500 meters off the coast in nearly 400 feet of water with human remains inside. The incident has deeply affected the Marine Corps. AAVs don't often sink, but when they do, it's cause for alarm throughout the Corps. These vehicles are a staple of the Marine Corps' amphibious operations and are often used, especially in training exercises, to get Marines from ship to shore. But the experience of riding in the back of these vehicles is one often dreaded by Marines.
They're not super small, but they definitely get packed in pretty tight with gear, guns, water, all that type of thing. They pack people in pretty tight. Essentially, you're in a dark metal box that has this 550 horsepower engine just screaming at you, and probably a bit of an exhaust leak leaking into the troop compartment, and it's dark, it's loud, you don't really know where you're at, you have no idea if you're 800 meters off the beach or a mile off the beach. You just kind of waiting until the ramp comes down, or you feel at least until you feel the tracks hit the sand and you're on the beach. The whole AAV community right now is feeling this so heavily because we understand just how terrible it would be to go down in one of those things. You're jumping into the ocean in this big metal box that you don't know what's going on, and you're just hoping that the crewman did the correct preventative maintenance and the driver knows what he's doing and all that. Even if everyone got out, it'd be a terrifying experience to be going down in one of those, just with how fast 26 tons sink, how crowded it is back there. It's going to be pretty rough.
The story brings into focus just how dangerous the job of being a Marine is, even when it's just a training exercise. I talked to the father of one of the Marines lost in the incident, and he told an emotional story about his son, saying that all he ever wanted to be was a Marine.
About my son, this is all he's ever wanted to do. He was kind of quiet and shy, kind of a quirky, goofy kid. But all he ever wanted to do, all he talked about is honor and battle and for what was right. He was in the Marine Corps for 1 year and 1 day. On the 29th of July, he stepped on the yellow footprints, I believe at 11 something at night. And on the 30th of July at 5:45, they were both went under. A lot of people thought he couldn't do it, but he did this, and he made it happen. And he died doing what he was 100% passionate about.
From here on out, the Corps is going to investigate this incident, find out exactly why the vehicle sank, and look into ways to prevent further sinkings. Stay with us here at the Marine Corps Times, and we'll be giving you the latest as the story develops.
Thanks, Philip. Now for the rest of your headlines this week, over to me. With U.S. troops drawing out of Germany, Poland is set to host a lot more American forces. In addition to the 4,500 troops that currently rotate from the U.S., Poland has, quote, agreed to fund infrastructure and logistical support to U.S. forces, including an Army 5th Corps Forward Command Post and an Air Force Reaper drone squadron. An increase of 1,000 U.S. rotational troops in Poland is also on tap. Next up, some big uniform changes for the Air Force. Say goodbye to the floor-length skirt. The Air Force is now allowing women to wear pants or a standard-length skirt with their mess uniform. Until now, female airmen have only been able to wear a floor-length skirt with their mess dress, which is worn during formal occasions like balls or dining out ceremonies. The change was prompted by, quote, overwhelming feedback from the field and goes into effect immediately. Now, it's time to go back to the Cold War.
Duck and cover.
Are you in the market for a Cold War era bunker and missile silo? Well, one in Fairdale, North Dakota just became available. The now defunct missile site was one of many built to protect the U.S. from Soviet attacks, armed with defensive missiles intended to shoot down any incoming ordnance. The auction for this particular plot, which encompasses roughly 50 acres, is set for August 11th. And to wrap things up, here's this week's Outgoing Round. Some airmen out in South Korea have gone above and beyond for a new way to drive home a safety message on COVID-19, a nod to instructional videos from the 1950s and 60s. Check it out.
Are you still adjusting to these uncertain modern times? How would you like a little help keeping everything on more of an even keel? Do you just want things to go back to the way they used to be? Way back in about 4.5 months ago? Are you hoping everything will just go back to normal? Well, allow me to introduce you to normal. With a twist. Introducing New Normal. COVID-19 remains a constant threat to the health and safety of the wolf pack. So even as health protection conditions relax, we must remain vigilant. To help you keep yourself and your wingmen safe, I'm pleased to introduce you to the Social Interaction Correctional Knowledge System, or as I call it, S.I.C.K. S.I.C.K is a decision-making tool designed to keep you safe in most social situations. For example, these two airmen are wondering about what to do on their Friday evening after their duty day has ended. One suggests, hey, why don't we go to a local social club or bar for a drink? Pump the brakes. This is where we remember S.I.C.K. By using your social interaction correctional knowledge, you can deflect the suggestion and correct the decision. No, I don't think that's a very good idea. Now the airman will correct his friend by suggesting a new normal hangout. Why don't we go to a club or lounge on base? And if we decide to leave and check out another club on base, we can do that too. This is a sick suggestion. By being super sick, this airman has saved himself and his wingman from putting the entire base at risk by deflecting an unsafe activity and correcting their course of action. The deflect and correct method can also be applied to physical greetings as well. When approached by a familiar face, rather than offering a handshake or a fist bump, deflect that archaic and unsanitary greeting and correct it with a safe and S.I.C.K elbow touch.
Ugh, sick.
That's right, I'm sick. Now you're sick too.
And that's all we have time for this week. Please visit us on militarytimes.com and on our social pages on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And check us out on Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marine Corps Times for the latest news. I'm Andrea Scott. Have a great week.